And now we've got a question by Mariano, and there's about eight. So I'm going to read the whole thing, and then we're going to just answer like one little bit of it, probably one little bit at a time, or maybe just one little bit in total, because there's so much in here. What are the ways you know how to spot your blind spots? And Mariano, English isn't his first language, so the English is a little bit all over the shop here, but I guess you can work it out. What are the ways you know how to spot your blind spots, get reality checked, and spot bullshit you're using/running? How do you apply them in your daily life? Especially any ways you can apply by yourself when you don't have a mentor or other person to call you on your bullshit. What have you done when you notice something is off in the way you're living? Like, I notice that I'm trying to control the external environment again. I need to what? How do you bring yourself back on track? What are the tools you can think of to snap yourself out of that? What I've experienced that helps is pain. The pain of seeing yourself stuck while others are way ahead of you, having started years after you, the pain of still being in the same place, the pain of not feeling good enough. But anything you can add to that would be great. I know that I have a shit ton of stuff to work on to be the kind of man my ideal woman wants, to approach her and life in general from the place that I want to. Should I still work on getting comfortable with approaching at the same time as I'm dealing with my other shit? So yeah, that's the whole question. And there's about 30 different things in there. Jermaine, you want to take a crack at one of them? Just take your pick.
Yeah, I'll take a crack at one of them. Basically, what I read this is like letting yourself off the hook.
What do you mean?
What I mean by that is, how do you know when you know that you are not living up to the ideal that you want to live up to?
Okay. Yeah.
How do you to notice when something is off in a way that you're living? And he brought it back to pain, and I think that's pretty wise on his part.
Yeah.
Because I think pain, negative emotional reactions, suffering, frustration, that those moments are so instructive because they're telling you, look, you're not taking the action you need to be taking.
Yeah.
And so being able to work out what it is that you're really wanting in those moments when you have those negative emotional reactions, in those moments of frustration, in those moments when like you just feel so behind and fuck, am I ever going to get this handled?
Yeah.
That feeling is like, okay, what is it that's going on here? What is it that I want?
Yeah.
And so for me, I think that's how I would begin to
spot your blind spots.
To spot your blind spot and be your own best friend, your own best mentor.
Yeah, no, I'm totally on board with that, man. That was the answer that I was going to give. The way you really spot your blind spots without a mentor and without being able to have the incredible luxury of someone sitting across from you and saying, hey, I'm seeing this in you. You might not see this yet, but I'm seeing this in you, and this is bullshit and you need to deal with it. Which, I mean, for me personally, I spend a lot of time in men's groups. And I'm sort of been pretty lucky to have surrounded myself with an incredible bunch of people who are able to call me on my own bullshit long before I can see it in myself. Yeah, but if you don't have that amazing luxury, then pain is probably the best way. And sort of not pain as in physical pain, and not sort of necessarily pain as in like that soul crushing, like my heart is about to, like, feels like it's just been torn out of my chest, but the kind of pain which is, it's a subtle kind of pain. And a lot of the times I know through my journey, the pain that helped me work out that I was off track was more of a feeling of emptiness than pain. So I would, be living my life and I would be doing sort of what I think is right and things would be going fine. And then I'd be doing the same kind of things, but I would just notice that there would be this hollowness behind it. And for me, that was the really, really big indicator. There was a blind spot that I was missing. There was something going on here, that I was running bullshit somewhere in my life. Yeah, just like a hollowness to what I was doing. When laughing doesn't feel as good as laughing used to, and when playing doesn't feel as good as playing used to. And that's the really big one for me. Andrew, what about you, man?
Yeah, like when you were describing that, like I could totally feel that emptiness, that hollowness when something's not going right. Like even if other people tell you that, you're doing this stuff, you must be happy because you're in college, or wow, you got a nice car, oh, all this stuff. It's like, but if you feel that inside of you, it's like, something's not right. So it's definitely looking inside and just being connected with yourself. That's the number one way to like spot your own bullshit.
Yeah. And I think like a really easy analogy to kind of make this sort of simple for guys to understand is that when you eat, if you have like done sport for like 5 hours, you know, just running and sweating and like just working out and killing yourself, and you haven't drunk any water, then the first sip of water you drink is the most amazing thing. Like, I'm sure you know the experience. It just feels incredible. Your body just goes, this is what I need.
Yeah.
But if you've like just been sitting on your ass all day, drinking heaps of water, eating heaps of food, and you go to take another drink of water or go to eat some more food, there's no satisfaction or sense of like real like fulfillment behind it. And that's sort of, if you're feeling that sense of like, you know, just kind of going through the motions, putting things in my mouth, no real kind of satisfaction behind it, then it means there's a blind spot there. You're doing something out of habit. You're doing something because you think you need to. You're following somebody else's rules. You're lying to yourself about what you really want. You haven't been taking enough action. There's some little blind spot there. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. Obviously, you can't go past having a mentor, having somebody who can like actually listen to what's going on in your world and call you on your own bullshit is incredible, especially having someone who's really trained and really knowledgeable and has been where you are before. You can't beat it. But if you don't have access to that right now, then trying to, just notice your experience as you go through the day. How does this feel to me? How does this feel to me? How does this feel to me? And if it doesn't feel like you've been playing sport for 5 hours and just had the first sip of water after that, then maybe it's time to look at what you're doing and why you're doing it and where it's taking you.